Hello, it's nice meeting you. You are welcome to watch my video. This is a macro lesson on pronunciation. My name is Teacher Emmanuel and I'm from Ghana. I teach English and I like teaching students online. Today, our lesson is on improving our skills in pronunciation with emphasis on the letter R and the letter L. Let us take a look at the board. There's a quote and I read, "Biting into samosa is like trying to pronounce words in English. You have to shape your mouth in a way to get every word." This quote is by Alan Raymond Terrence. Now, what does this quote mean? Yes, Jane? David? It simply means that there's a lot of movement of our mouth muscles in order to produce sound. We shall come to see that it involves the mouth muscles, the tongue, the teeth, and even our vocal cords. Now, what do you think about people regarding when they hear somebody whose pronunciation is bad or poor? Yes, Alice. Yes, they will laugh at that person. Yes, that's true. So, how many of you are interested in improving your pronunciation skills? Yes, almost everybody. Thank you. Almost everybody. Thank you. Now, there are certain factors that affect pronunciation. Let's look on the whiteboard. For example, we have word stress, syllable stress. The word stress, if you look at this, that word is photograph, photographer, but the stress is on TO as underlined. Photographer, photographer. Now, there are also certain barriers that affect communication. For example, we have your age, we have the transfer of your first learning, first language. So the language, your very first language when you were born can affect some other language that you are learning, like English. Now, what will happen is that there are certain strategies, there are certain strategies that are used in learning pronunciation. For example, the minimal pairs, the mnemonic chart, and so on. We shall use some of these right now. Now, in learning or pronouncing the letter R and the letter L, if you look at L, for example, as a letter of the alphabet, we say L, letter L. But when we want to pronounce it, it is L, so that you find that your tongue will hit the roof of your mouth. Now, the letter R, even though we say letter R, when we want to pronounce it in a word, it sounds R. Now, I've asked you to bring some mirrors as a form of practice. You can, on your own, pronounce the word and look in the mirror and see how your mouth moves. L, L, R, R. So let every one of you take out your mirror and practice it. Yes? How do you find it? Is it good? It's good. Now, we want to use a certain software to improve our pronunciation. What will happen is that right now, the facilities here will not allow me to show it on the screen, but then you can do it on your own if you listen to the instructions. Now, you get the passage, you type out the passage, you select the passage, copy it, then you go to a website called rewardify.com. There you find a yellow rectangular box. You paste what you have copied inside it. Below the yellow box, there's a button with the word rewardify. Click on it, and what will happen is that you will find that the software itself will select certain new words or words, unfamiliar words. It will give you the meaning of those words. Then when you run your cursor over those words, it will give you the pronunciation. That's a very nice software. I hope all of you will try it at home. Now, there are certain words that have the same ending, but they sound or they are pronounced differently. For example, cough, bow, though, enough, through. Even though they have the same endings, they are pronounced differently. Now, what will happen is that we are going to use what we call tongue twisters to practice a little bit. In other words, they kind of exercise your mouth muscles. Now, so you repeat after me. She threw 3 free throws. Then the next one. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. How do you find them? How do you find them? Good. Now we want to now use what you call minimal pairs, as I pointed out earlier on. Now these are words that, in actual fact, they sound almost the same in pronunciation, but they are different. For example, you find that two words, one with L, one with R, they will sound almost the same. If you see leech and reach, leech, leech and reach. So if I cover my mouth, which one am I saying? Rich. Who can point to it? Okay. Now I would do this, a silent one. If I say leech, if I say, what am I saying? Good. Richard, yes. Okay. Okay. That's good. Now it's time for group work. So I want you to be in 4 groups, and then you read what I'll read first of all for all of you to listen to. So all of you will listen to me first of all before you work in groups. I'll read just the first sentence because of lack of time. The book attempts to describe some of the basic grammatical characteristics of the English language in a way accessible to most students of English. So you'll be in your groups and then you read that passage. Now this time we are going to do individual work. So what will happen is that each of you will come to the front, read one sentence. Then the rest of you will use the pre-printed sheets of paper. If the person pronounces the words correctly, the sentence, you either mark yes if it's pronounced correctly, or you mark no if it's not properly pronounced. At this time, we want to do some assignments. So what you do is that you do this assignment at home. You go to Google VOA, let's speak English. Then you look for these 2 lessons 2 and 7. You listen very carefully so that when you come to school the next day, you're going to have a discussion so that you can contribute. So soon we have to end. So congrats, goodbye. We'll see you.